Hey everyone, it's Misty. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I have a really easy tag to share with you today. I made this for the Simon Says Stamp Wednesday challenge. The theme this week is called Wrap It Up, and it's anything that has to do with like packaging. So like a tag, which is what I did, or a bag or a box or something along those lines. So if you stick around to the end, you get rewarded with a little clip from one of the holiday events we have going on in our tiny little town, and it's for a really good cause. So hopefully you'll stick around till the end. All right, so let's jump into this. I'm using a distress tag by Tim Holtz, and I'm just gonna ink blend my background with blueprint sketch, and then I'm gonna blend up into peacock feathers. And I wanted the bottom of it to be a little bit darker, so I added some faded jeans on the bottom. These Distress Oxide inks are so easy to blend. I really love working with these inks. Now I'm using a distress tag here, so it's meant for inks like this. It's a mixed media tag, but I found that the Bristol Smooth cardstock is the easiest kind of cardstock to ink blend on. So in case you didn't know that, it blends well on the Nina Solar White or whatever cardstock you have, but it just seems it just goes on so smoothly on the Bristol paper. That's my little tip for the day. And now I'm just going to add on some water droplets just to give my tag a little added interest. And I'm going to let it sit there for a minute, let it do its thing, and then I'll blot it up with a paper towel. Now I'm going to do some heat embossing on this, so you want to make sure your tag is completely dry. I learned this the hard way. Once you add embossing powder, if it's not dry, you're going to have powder sticking where you don't want it. So I just always take my heat tool, just heat it up for a minute and make sure it's dry. And now I'm going to test it. I'm going to take some embossing powder, just kind of sprinkle it over the tag before I add any ink and make sure that it's not sticking where I don't want it to stick. So I'm going to use my anti-static pouch there again. Take some clear ink by Simon Says Stamp and ink up my stamp. This is a Tim Holtz stamp. It's called a tree sketch. And I really like the stamp. I couldn't figure out how to stamp it. I mean, I'm almost lost now that I use my Misty for pretty much everything. And then when I have to actually stamp it the old fashioned way, I panicked for a minute. So it worked out. I pretty much got it where I wanted to stamp it. Wish I would have moved it up just a little bit, but that's okay. It still works out. Now I'm just going to heat up that embossing powder. Love this part. I love watching people Copic color, and I love watching embossing powder melt. Is that weird? It's just so cool that it does this. It starts out as a powder and then turns into this gorgeous shiny silver. And then I'm going to take a stamp from a stamp set I haven't used yet called Stained Glass Greetings. I got this last Christmas, and I have yet to use it, so. I didn't know what color embossing powder I wanted to use, so I stamped it twice. And then I'm going to heat emboss one in silver, and the other one I'm just going to do in white embossing powder. Just wasn't sure. So this is kind of where I realized that I wish I would have scooted the stamp up just a little bit. It would have fit better at the bottom there, but it's okay. I still like the way it turned out. So I just took my microfiber cloth there and wiped it off, make sure there's nothing on the embossing powder. I do that after if I heat emboss first and then ink blend over it, and it's just a habit now. I do it all the time now. I wipe it off. Yep, I'm going to kill it with some foam squares, just in case I wanted to mail this. I went with the silver embossing powder. Oh, it just matched better. I liked it better. And I was going to leave it like this, but which I thought, would have been cool too, but I don't know, it seemed a little too simple and a little too quick. I never make anything this quick, so I have to add a little bit more to it. But I happen to have this cool ribbon. I think I got it in the dollar bin at Target last year. But I thought it was perfect for this to match the silver. Then I decided to add another tag to go behind it. And I love this plaid stamp by Conquered a Ninth, so I've been itching to use it this season, so this was perfect for it. Just trying to decide what colors to do, and in the end I just decided to do pretty much the same colors. I started with faded jeans, and then I will blend up into the blueprint sketch, and I just left it blue. I didn't add any of the peacock feathers. So I'll take some VersaFine ink and stamp my stamp here. So I was a little nervous because I have my tag in the middle there, and I was afraid it was going to move on me because usually I bump it up to the sides of the Misty if I can, but I couldn't do that with this one. So of course it was sticking to my tag. So I just took my little craft pick here and, carefully pried it open and held the tag down with the pick. And I'm going to stamp that 2 more times just to get a nice solid impression. Here I am trying to pop it open again. And I didn't know if this was going to be the final time I stamped it, so I was being... I was going easy on that one too. Love this plaid. I think it's so cool, especially this time of year. And I love that it has these thin stripes that come with it. It looks fine without the stripes, but I love it with the stripes too. I've done it both ways, with and without the stripes, but I don't know, the stripes just kind of give it that added little detail. So I'm just trying to line it up. Again, I didn't know if I was going to stamp it once or more than once, so I'm just trying to make my tag stay and not move when I lift the Misty door. Yes, I had ink all over me by this point. So I wiped off the top there just because I was eyeballing it, and those were going to go above where I stamped it, so just wiped off the top. And I did only end up stamping it once, so I could have just used a acrylic block, but I didn't know. I'm going to end up just doing that for the horizontal lines. Look how cool that looks. This has got to be one of my favorite stamps. I just don't use it enough. So now I'm getting brave, and I'm just going to use the acrylic block to stamp the horizontal lines. But see how easy this tag was? I mean, just some ink blending and a little bit of heat embossing and a little bit of stamping, and that was it. I love things that I can make quick like this. I almost felt like I was missing something just because I'm a very slow card maker. It takes me a long time to make anything, and I was just really surprised at how quick this came together. But that's pretty much it. I'm just going to take that tinsel ribbon and tie them both together, and that's my tag. Alright, well that's my video for this week. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this card that I made for the Simon Says Stamp Wednesday challenge. All of the supplies that I used are listed and linked in the description below. You can always head over to my blog for more information. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I hope you would consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't already. And while you're there, click on that little bell icon so that you won't miss any of my new videos. I usually post 1 new video a week. Alright, if you're still here, I got this little short clip to share with you. I live in a town of about 7,000 people, so we do this thing called the Candy Cane Run, and here's a little clip from it. Okay, we got firecrackers, canned, dry.